United, together, here we stand. Sumana, Ashley, Felipe, your workplace wellness hour band, where culture meets health and wisdom takes hold. Fresh perspectives and insights unfold. Building stronger teams, brighter paths ahead. A workplace where passion and purpose are fed. Join us, engage and elevate your game. Wellness that works puts growth in the frame. Works puts growth in the frame. Mental clarity, physical strength, financial insight, tools and strategies that get it right. Real stories, real growth, real change that lasts. Practical guidance that moves you fast. Workplace wellness hour brings substance and spark. Together we flourish, together we make our mark. Building stronger teams, brighter paths ahead. A workplace where passion and purpose are fed. Join us, engage and elevate your game. Wellness that works puts growth in the frame. That works puts growth in the frame. So mark your calendar, answer the call. Workplace wellness, practical magic for all. Say no, building stronger teams, brighter paths ahead. A workplace where passion and purpose are fed. Join us, engage and elevate your game. Wellness that works puts growth in the frame. A workplace where passion and purpose are fed. Join us, engage and elevate your game. Wellness that works puts growth in the frame.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Workplace Wellness Hour. It is Monday, February 16th, 2026, and we are here with another great episode talking about building portfolio careers with intention. And I'm here with my amazing co-hosts, Ashley Fluellen and Sumana Jeddy. How are you, ladies? Good evening, wherever you are.
I laughed so hard. I wish there was a reaction of my honest reaction when I saw the three of us in a band. I think I need to manifest this, Ashley.
Oh my God. I'll manifest it too. One day we'll be up on stage playing music together.
2027.
There you go. Hey, the original version, I was playing the drums, but so if you wonder what we're talking about, in the intro, there's a new intro that we've updated, and we always try to keep it fresh. And there's a line in the song that says the Workplace Wellness Band. So I made us into a band. So there were some funnier versions that I was showing in the green room that are for our eyes only. But yeah, AI can be dangerous, but it can be fun. And if you also notice, many of you in the chat were also featured in the wonderful little intro. We had comments in there from Melissa Houston and a few other people. But before I forget, I just want to say hello to the people who have already joined us. It's great to see Melissa Houston in there watching from YouTube and LinkedIn. That's amazing how you're doing both. Gabe Liao, yes, you were here first. Thank you, Gabe. Wonderful to see you. And Jackie Hallberg's in the house. Kenny, it's always wonderful to see you. Thank you for savoring the flavor always. And John Werner, who's been a regular now. It's great to see you as well. Emron, you were also in the intro video. Thank you for your wonderful comments. Leslie Flowers, I think you were also in the intro video. If you go check it out if you missed it. And of course, we have Bill, William Rochelle. It's great to see you as always. Great show today. And then, yesterday, I'm sorry. And Lisa Fevik, who is our just amazing person who really focuses on women's health, menopause, and really for men and women to understand and educate us. And then we have, let's see, anybody else I missed here? Stephen Ang. Always want to see you, Stephen, from New York. Hopefully some of the snow has melted from the rain. I know we actually got some snow go away because the rain finally washed it away. And I think that was everybody. If I missed, Melissa Cohen's in the house. Great to see you, Melissa, last week. Or was it last week or the week before? She was in DC promoting her book, Letters of Lily. I gotta say, if you haven't checked out her book, Letters of Lily, it's something that I wish it would have been required reading in high school for my daughter, because I think it would have helped her. And it's also a letter that there are some letters written to, by men in there, but a lot of it was women writing to their, younger self. And so it was just very inspirational stories that your teenage daughter would really benefit from, and even adult daughter. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. And did I miss anybody else? Okay, I don't think so. So great. Thank you all for showing up so early, y'all. This is just like full house, Sumana and Ashley. We got a great.
I know, and it's a long weekend here in Canada. Well, in Alberta, it's a family day weekend, and I didn't expect anyone to even. Well, most of our folks are not in Canada, but just so nice to have everybody join us so early. Like this is a vibe. I'm so happy.
Absolutely. And I love Family Day so much better than our holiday, Ashley. No,
Yes, it is.
President's Day weekend. People like to go skiing a lot on that weekend. Family Day just sounds like more like, hey, let's do something as a family.
It is. It's such a good. It's like probably after Thanksgiving. I think this is one of my favorite holidays, because after Christmas and all of that stuff, Family Day is just like that good long weekend break that we needed. And I don't know, it's just such a good time. So, and it's snowing for the first time in probably 8 weeks, and we're getting a big dump of snow, but I'm not complaining in Calgary because we've had no snow at all. So this is just a little bit that we're going to see over the next 24 hours. I think 20 to 30 centimeters of snow. So I know what, no complaints. I want to see the white stuff. I think we deserve to see a little bit of white here.
That sounds so nice.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about snow, Ashley. Apparently, Cooper Gates is saying there's not enough snow there where he's at. I wonder if he's in Calgary too. But let us know if you like snow, or if you are someone who wishes the snow would just stay away. Let us know.
And let us know if you like President's Day or if you like Family Day.
I mean, who's gonna pick President's Day or Family Day? I mean, come on. I mean, unless you're like a political science major and that into politics, maybe you love presidents that much. I knew somebody that had a room in their house where they had every president of the United States framed in their room, and I'm like,
that is crazy.
they're history buff. They loved history. They loved and they weren't even political as far as party one way or the other. It was just history and presidential history. Well, listen, so you all came here to talk about this topic today of building portfolio careers with intention, which I think a lot of us are currently either dealing with, have thought about it, or don't even realize it's kind of happening already. And so we're going to talk about what it is, how people are doing it, how to take care of yourself, and just different perspectives from different points of views. So before we do that, let's do some introductions. I'm going to hand it over to Ashley to start off our introductions, and we'll go around and then get the party started.
Sounds great. Thank you, Felipe. Hello, everybody. My name is Ashley Fluellen. I am an artist and the founder of Dear Imperfect Artist. And I've had just really a good week. I got my teaching license in my email. So now I'm looking for jobs to be an art teacher. And then I also had And then I also had a great meeting with my mentor this week. And she kind of helped me hone in what Dear Imperfect Artist is and really simplify it. So this is my first time saying it aloud. We're jumping in. Dear Imperfect Artist is an online community where we're committed to helping each other create again. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that like simple and amazing?
Yes, I love it.
Thank you. And the way that we do that is we host online programming, community discussion circles, and our main focus really is ongoing collaboration, creation, and cultivation of our own and the group's creative practices. So that's that. And I will pass it over to Sumana.
Oh, lovely. It's so nice to hear from you, Ashley, and nice to hear more about your journey, Dear and Perfect Artist, how that's evolving. And also a quick shout out to Felipe's new headshot. Like, can we just take a moment to celebrate that? Because I haven't seen it. All right, let's give a thumbs up. Let's give some emojis for Felipe's new headshot. I really like it. It's a good vibe. Okay, let me tell you a bit
Make
about
me
myself.
blush right now.
This is what we should celebrate all wins. I'm in for that. The celebrating micro wins. I feel like every moment should be celebrated. So folks who don't know me, I think everybody knows me, but if you don't know me, my name is Sumana Jeddy. I am the founder of Jeddy Wellness. We do corporate as well as now recently launched student well-being programs using evidence-based strategies. And we work with lots of different organizations to make work life sustainable with systems, with processes, and with evidence-based frameworks that we know work, which can be simplified. So it doesn't sound very sciencey. It actually sounds like something you can do and you can apply on a day-to-day basis. That's my vibe. I am a nerdy, sciencey person, but I also like to have lots of fun. And I am here to learn from you, but also to close the loop on this sort of career vibe that we've been kind of talking about since the beginning of January. I'll pass the mic to Felipe so he can introduce himself, and we'll dive right into this amazing topic. Over to you, Felipe.
Well, thank you, Sumana, and definitely check out Jeddy Wellness. I put the QR code in there. I need to get some updates for Ashley's QR codes. For me, I'm Felipe Cofiño. For those I have not had the pleasure of meeting, I'm an HR exec. I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm also a LinkedIn top voice, which I don't take lightly, and try to use the platform to give back. And I'm a career coach and founder of Cofiño Consulting, where we provide HR training services for compliance, auditing, training, recruitment, and overall workplace culture. So if any of that interests you, feel free to reach out to me at Cofiño Consulting, which there's a QR code there for that. And obviously, on LinkedIn, I do a lot on LinkedIn to give back, to share my knowledge, also to stay networking and engaged. Right now, I'm job searching. My time at my current company is coming to the end of this month with a job elimination. We've had to do some, unfortunately, layoffs like a lot of people. But what I also realized is that I have a lot of other skills that I don't always tap into, or a lot of other things I've been working on, and that kind of has led into this whole career portfolio thing. Or portfolio career. So I should say that it's been very great to research this topic that Sumana brought to us, but it's also been very enlightening to do some self-discovery myself about where am I and what does my portfolio career look like, and is it going well? So we'll dive into that. But I will have one more ask. If you all have not followed me or subscribed to my YouTube channel, that's where I house all of the Workplace Wellness Hour. I also house all of the careers, chaos, and coaching I do with Melissa Houston, who's in the chat. And I also house Social Saturday Chat there when I do those, as well as the Future Ready Voices, which I do quarterly, and I highlight CEOs, managing partners. My next one actually is going to be the managing partner of Hub International, where he's going to talk about the future of work and retirement. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, I would be greatly appreciative if you have. I am one person away from 100. I just have that milestone I wanted to hit. So with that being said, let's dive into this topic. So we're going to hit Felipe's 5 real quick and then go around to Ashley and Sumana. I'll give you all a chance to chime in on each one real quick if you have any thoughts, but this is going to be just the initial, like, what is it and how is it working? So, and thank you all in the chat. I am going to put the link in there shortly for you to join us on stage, so you can share your questions or experiences. All right, so building a portfolio career. First thing is control is about optionality, not escape. So it's not a reaction to, I have to get out of this job, I have to do something quickly. It's really strategic. You want to make sure that you're building options and you want to do it with intention. So if you're consulting, you got to do it and do it well. If you're doing board services or writing or speaking, don't do it halfway. But having those options of those skills by building them creates that calm decision making when you are in that situation. Sumana, Ashley, thoughts, comments?
Ashley, do you want to go first?
Yeah. I was gonna say I totally agree about the optionality versus the escape. I was gonna say this, but I think that my generation, this is kind of how we think about careers, is like all of the options that we're able to jump into rather than one career choice that we just commit to for the rest of our lives. So I think that this is a really great way to frame the portfolio career.
Yeah, and maybe I'll just take it one step back and just maybe set the stage again as to why we even brought this topic up, which might answer, Imran, your question about, like, do you mean career portfolio? Words are a little bit different. This is just a new terminology. So we started this Workplace Wellness Hour, the continuation of season 4, in January. And our first topic was on career reset. So we wanted to kind of talk about, like, what does it look like when something isn't working and we want to do a bit of a reset and a pivot. And then 2 weeks ago, we had the conversation on job hugging, where we discussed, like, what does it feel like and what strategies do we need to kind of support and create when we're too scared to leave a job, which is a reality for a lot of people in today's workplace. But this topic of career portfolio is trending, as you may have already guessed. And this is about, how do I take control of my current situation? How do I keep my job, which is, we obviously don't want to lose our current job. And if you are someone who is in the position of having to move, like Felipe is, how do we basically position ourselves so we are putting our eggs in many different baskets, and we are using many different skills, many different income streams, and using kind of our signature strengths and our almost like our identities to anchor into jobs that are going to help us not just bridge that income gap, but to make sure that we're financially safe, but also, I think one of the things that I've noticed is we become so tied down to, I mean, I also struggle with this idea of, like, oh, what is my title? I used to be a manager in public health. Now I am the CEO or a director. Sometimes I go back and forth. I don't want us to also think about our job as just our title. We need to think beyond that. So that's why we wanted to talk about this. So I just wanted to set the stage of what that means. If you have any more questions about what that means, please put that in the comment. But that's what my brainstorming was about when I pitched this to Felipe and Ashley. Is like, let's just close the loop on those two topics: career reset, job hugging, and then talk about this career portfolio. And I love the first Felipe's 5. It makes a lot of sense, is that we want to be able to not be designing these jobs because we're scared, because we're job hugging or we're resetting. I want us to be thinking about designing these careers because we have that choice. Exactly the words on Felipe's 5, and lean into skill-based, passion-based projects that can eventually, I mean, we all want to make money, right? Eventually give us those income streams. So love that first one. Happy to pass the mic back to Felipe, and any other questions about those in the comments, we can refer to those as well. Over to you, Felipe.
Well, thank you, Ashley and Sumana, and great points. And it really is a great series that we've created here. Thanks to really Sumana for bringing up these really trending topics. I really feel like we tend to be ahead of the trend when we talk about these things, because then also I start hearing other people talk about it like a month or two later. I'm like, okay, well, they're like saying it's new, but I do appreciate all the work you do. And this year, again, we do want people to feel like they have some control, because when you don't feel like you have control, it can be a little scary. So focus on things that you can control, not the things that you can't. All right, number 2, let's get through these real quick. Number 2 is your skills are the asset, not your title. I think there's a lot of people that have, I knew I grew up, it was all about the next title, the next title, the next title. You know what? At the end of the day, you've had so many different titles that's not really what is sustainable and carries you on. The skills are what you're known for. The skills are what you stand out for. And so titles inspire, skills compound. So you want to make sure that you are thinking about those skills. And don't just get a skill and put it on the shelf. You got to make sure that you're nurturing that skill and that you're continuing to upskill and give that skill the attention it deserves. For example, oh, I'm great at programming. That's great. Have you learned any new programming skills lately? Because technology is advancing. So, but we all have transferable skills, whether it's problem solving, influencing, it's technical, it's figures and finances. We all have skills, and sometimes we don't realize how many of them are transferable. Ashley, over to you.
I think I'm actually going to hold a comment because this aligns with one of mine. I'll pass it over to Sumana, one of my points.
Yeah, I think this just goes back to what I was saying about. I think my microphone is also not working, so just give me a moment here while I reset. So maybe I'll pass it back to Felipe.
All right,
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
all right, but the main thing is, again, I think one thing is don't get too hung up on the title. The job title does not always mean everything. If the quality of work, the type of work, the enjoyment of the work, and the financial payment of the work is all there, maybe you put the title to the side. All right, number 3 is diversification is career risk management, meaning that you don't rely on one revenue stream and put all your eggs in the basket when you have your own business. Neither should leaders. We want to make sure that you are looking at being flexible and agile, not dependent on just one skill. It increases your leverage. It builds more visibility. You end up having more ability to shift and pivot when needed, and you're more marketable. With that, I'll hand it over to Ashley.
Man, this one I think is probably my favorite of Felipe's 5, and it's really because I did not have this idea when I was working on my own business and being a full-time artist. But it's true. I mean, we've moved past relying on one income stream, putting all of your eggs in one basket, and staying in a career for 15, 20 years. That is just not what's happening anymore. Even if you are job hugging right now, it just looks very different. And so I think that this is a great point, and it's really practical, especially in this moment, to diversify yourself, diversify your skills, and with that, diversifying your income streams. I'm not sure if Sumana's back.
Wait, it would help if I brought her back. There you are.
Oh, there you go. I'm back. Hey, guys. Sorry, I had to fix my microphone because I want better audio for you folks. Yes, I did hear you, Ashley. Was there anything like what was the last little bit you said that I just missed that last little bit?
What did I say after it comes out? I said that diversifying your skills, your talents, as well as your income streams is a major key for this moment in time.
Yes, and I agree 100% on this point as well. One of the things I wanted to talk about more from the recovery side, which maybe I'll just piggyback on diversification, not just leveraging your strategy and your skills, but also diversifying your recovery strategies. I was telling Ashley and Felipe that one of the things that we need to consider when we are putting all these eggs in different baskets and you're almost like code switching, and if you're switching on and off from different jobs and different things that you're doing to bring in that income stream, say you're a podcaster on the weekends and you are an analyst during the 4 days a week, and you're teaching 3 days a week, you're wearing all these different multiple hats. While you're doing that, I also want you to diversify your strategies for your recovery so you don't burn out. This is something we have to be really diligent when we are jumping from job to job, from skill to skill, especially if you are the type of person that is building your portfolio career, not just because it's going to look good on your resume, but because ultimately you want to have that financial stability. I think a lot of us are doing that for that particular reason, and because the job market can be so unpredictable. I've heard so many people over the last 6 weeks or so who've had long-term full-time jobs that are now either being phased out, or their projects have ended, or there's no funding. So these portfolio careers almost become like your lifelines. And if you are jumping from different career to different career, I'd like you to also think about, what strategy do I need when I'm podcasting for 10 hours a day versus what recovery strategy do I need if I am making content and writing blogs, or if I'm doing data analysis, or if I'm doing something really technical. What does that look like? So diversification, even in the well-being space, is going to go a long way, especially if you want sustainability in the space. So that was my one point that I wanted to make on this one. Over to you, Felipe.
Well, thank you, Sumana. And I know we're gonna get into boundaries and taking care of yourself. Why is this not staying? There we go. And here, the next one, number 4, is your network becomes your infrastructure. I cannot stress enough about how valuable my network has been when I am promoting the book I put out, or looking for a job, or looking to collaborate. It really is something that gives you so many resources. I can't tell you how many times someone in my family is like, I gotta figure out how to do this. I'm like, oh, I know somebody on LinkedIn. My son got a motorcycle. He's like, I wonder what the best helmet is. I'm like, you know what? Let me reach out to Melissa Houston. She knows a lot about that because she has experience running a motorcycle shop. So there's things like that when you learn about people's individual skill sets, it doesn't mean that that's all they do. But if they have that knowledge, it's great to tap into that network. And that's where I think when you build a network, you got to build that. It builds your trust with them, it builds reputation, visibility, and it really does help you find people that are willing to help you when you need it, especially if you're giving back beforehand. Now, one thing I will say also, and I'm going to say this without thinking this through, so I hope this makes sense to you all. I'm going to say, network your skills. And here's what I mean by this. I hope this makes sense. Network your skills, because the skills that I've built and grown over the years, I was afraid to share them. I was afraid to have them cross paths. It wasn't until this current job that I'm at right now that when I shared those things, we're like, oh, can we tap into that? Can you teach us about that? Can we find a way to? And so I was able to tap into the other skills that I had because I did share them. I didn't push them, but I was transparent about it. And that's the stuff that I think makes you more marketable and more valuable when things change in the company or in your business, is that you're able to pivot and say, oh, well, I can help out marketing right now with LinkedIn. Sure, I have that skill set. Oh, we're trying to help a children's book author and promote them in the company. I have some connections of people that help promote those things. So it's one of those things where you don't know what you have sometimes until someone needs it. And we got to recognize it in ourselves. We shouldn't wait until someone needs it or someone tells you. We got to kind of network ourselves internally as well as externally. I hope that made sense. I'm going to hand it over to Ashley to tell me honestly if any of that made sense.
It did make sense. And the only thing that I'll add to this, I actually attended a presentation with the Global Respectful Disruption Summit. Their next summit their tickets just went on sale, so I'm just shamelessly plugging them because they're amazing. But one of the presentations that I really enjoyed was redefining wealth and redefining success. And the speaker talked about how there are so many ways to be wealthy. You can be wealthy monetarily, you can be wealthy materially. There are so many ways. And the way that really was like a highlight for me was he talked about being wealthy in your community. And I think that this hits that nail on the head, that having people around you who you understand them, they understand you, you both are linking arms and able to help each other or just be a sounding board for each other, like really collaborating and providing the humanity and the peopleness with other people in your lives is a form of wealth. And so I agree with you on this, Felipe. It is your infrastructure, especially when building a portfolio career, to have that wealth of people and wealth of knowledge coming in. And I'll pass to Sumana for her thoughts.
Thank you. And I actually do love also the comments that are in the chat box. The one comment I wanted to, because I know people are watching from my LinkedIn page, as well as from Felipe's LinkedIn page, and also some folks from YouTube, which I love. Cooper Gates, I liked his comment on just the previous strategy we were discussing, which was on, focusing on skills that can best suit you rather than dealing with moving the goalposts from markets. I really love that. And I really love Imran's comment about you might want to consider a framework of early, mid, or senior level scope. And this ties really beautifully into this infrastructure comment and what I was going to share about your social support as playing a really big part on your well-being, on your career, because he's absolutely right. Some of us are not going to have the infrastructure, our social infrastructure, for example, as the new workers coming into the workforce, the Gen Zers coming into the workforce are not going to have as much wisdom and EQ, as Imran says, and the knowledge to build that portfolio career. So I do like the idea that we might want to consider what those 3 levels might look like, and I didn't really think about that until now. So this is actually really a good point for us to think about. I'll only add one more thing, and this is something you've heard me talk about a lot on this channel. For corporate well-being, for any kind of well-being conversation, I always say that social support and the people that we have in our network will amplify your recovery, and they are great buffers for your stress. High quality connections, which is what is it's a research-based kind of word, HQC. If you can lean on your mentors, your peers, your communities, as you are developing your portfolio career, but also maybe thinking about, how do I get advice? How do I decompress? How do I have better stress management strategies for that sustainability with a peer? Sometimes you don't want to do recovery alone. I think sometimes it's better, just like how we show up every other Monday night to have these conversations with you. It's great because everybody joins and we get to learn from each other. If you can develop recovery while you're building your network, and have those individuals that you can lean on for recovery-based conversations, that's also going to be an asset. And it is, like it says on the slide here, it is very strategic. You don't just want people to talk about subject matter stuff all the time. You probably also want to talk to people about your mental health, about corporate well-being, about like some goals that you might have. Maybe you're not doing lunch at your desk anymore, and maybe when you are doing your 10-hour podcast days, and you can lean on someone on LinkedIn or a social network, high quality connection, that you can say, hey, we're doing recovery together. I've spent 10 hours in the studio. How do I recover better? Every activity that you do, almost link that activity to a recovery strategy, and link that activity to a career. So it becomes really easy when it's like, if I do this, then I do that. If I do this, then I do that. Again, this is my science brain saying this is very logical if you start to make it that way. Okay. That's about it. I'll pass it back to Felipe for the next comment. And we would love to have some of you join us on stage. And thank you for keeping our chat box so engaged. And your comments are very much appreciated. Over to you, Felipe.
Thank you, Sumana. And I just added the link to join us on stage. So feel free to join us on stage if you have a question or if you want to share an experience about the topic. Now, our next number, the last one of Felipe's 5, is clarity beats hustle every time. Look, when we make decisions in a rush, we make mistakes. And we're not trying to do everything at once. So do what aligns. Successful portfolio leaders are clear on the following: what they say yes to, which talks about having boundaries and being able to say no, what they choose to monetize and what they choose not to, which is, you got to really separate those things, because some things you're going to offer for free or not monetize, and what are they going to protect, like their time, their energy, their values. You have to be clear about this so that it can guide you when you are going through difficult times, and it will guide you. And clarity also, when you slow down, you catch mistakes. I'll give you a perfect example. I have a mistake. Well, I don't know if I'll call it a mistake, but I wish I hadn't done it knowing what I know today. So this is what happened. As I told you, I'm looking for another opportunity out there. And as I'm looking, I'm updating my Indeed stuff. And I haven't been on Indeed for a while, but I'm updating, putting a fresh resume on there. And I notice there's other tabs, and I'm looking at the tabs and seeing what I've put in there in the past. I'm like, oh, that's up to date. That's up to date. And I see reviews. Now, you all know me, those that have known me for a while, know I've talked about a place that was very toxic. I worked there for 2.5 years. It taught me a lot of what not to do. I left a review on Indeed about this company. And I was professional, but I was pretty negative about them. Now, if you asked me as a recruiter, when I'm recruiting people, if I see someone that's leaving negative reviews about another company, is that going to raise a red flag to me? Are they a complainer? Are they going to be difficult? Yes. And so that's me rushing in the past not to update and maybe remove that review, which I have obviously now. But the point is that the clarity beats hustle also means slowing down and doing things well and checking them helps you catch those mistakes so that they don't bite you later on. Ashley, thoughts?
Yeah, I love this. I definitely agree on the clarity over the hustle. I think that, when you have a lot of income streams and a lot of ways that you're stretching your energy, it's very easy to burn out. I have been there, and it is a tough hole to climb yourself out of. And so if there are ways that you can keep yourself from even getting into the hole, then I would absolutely say to go in that direction. And on this slide specifically, when I was thinking about this topic, I really was wanting to highlight just that creating a portfolio career is in itself a creative practice. You are stretching your creativity. You are thinking of all kinds of ways to translate your experience into different ways of enacting that experience and showcasing that experience. And like any creative practice, it requires a bit of experimentation, a bit of like iterating and ideating and reflecting on what you're doing. And my one piece that I just want to add to this is, with all of that iteration and reflection and ideation, is to stay away from perfectionism. And
Yes.
I think that it's easy for us to get, caught up in clarity equaling perfectionism and having to get the message perfectly right. But you don't. I mean, folks just want to see you exploring your skills and seeing all of the ways that you can translate those. And so that's all I'll add, is that clarity does not equal perfectionism, but clarity is absolutely, absolutely a need for this. And I'll pass to Sumana.
Oh my God, I'm loving this discussion. And I'll only add one other thing just to not complicate complicate the matter, but just to get us thinking about what else we need. As you can have already imagined, a lot of my thoughts have been on sort of how do I make, if we are going to be doing this, I posted this morning as well, if we are going to consider doing portfolio careers as a way to create more wealth, as a way to get more control, as a way just to have a bit of a backup and have those eggs in different basket. My thought process was, how do we make this sustainable? Because I myself, I'm in this position of a portfolio career in this moment in time. There's lots of things that I'm doing in many different spaces just to make sure that I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. So, in addition to clarity and not having that perfectionist mindset, which I love, the only other comment that I'll make is about adding a little bit of autonomy as a way to buffer your burnout. We've talked about detachment, relaxation, autonomy, mastery, meaning, affiliation, the drama model for well-being, and autonomy is one that is really important in this space, because portfolio careers is basically allowing us to control our work, our time, the money that we bring in, and really just not relying on just our one employer. We're not relying on that single employer. So if you basically get to decide, what do I want to do? When do I want to do it? So there's a bit of this like urgency that protects us from stress and burnout. But if you start to take that autonomy that we're going to put into portfolio careers and bring that back as a way to have autonomy on your rest and recovery, this is going to be a win-win for you, right? We want you to have sustainability. So this means I want you to have energy. I want you to have those high quality connections. I want you to have a sense of, I will take a break after putting 10-hour days, doing all these different things, right? And we tend to not do that. And it's very easy to get caught up in this hustle of one project to the next, to the next, to the next. I myself just, or 5 minutes before I went live, had made a very strategic, and Felipe and Ashley are probably going to get a kick out of this, but I just 5 minutes ago made a post on Instagram that I'm going to be taking a strategic pivot from Instagram until at the end of Q2, because I literally cannot manage it. I cannot manage all these different things that I'm doing. So again, autonomy is, how do I get autonomy back? And autonomy for me was to look at the data and see where am I investing my time. I love spending time on Instagram. It's fun. I get to be like having a lot of like fun little things, but that's not where my time and effort needs to go. The data says my time and effort needs to go on LinkedIn, and that's where it is going. So just this morning, over 3 days of reflection and pivoting and using these exact strategies, I have now realized that I need to take a 4-month or maybe longer. So from now until Q2, there's going to be no new content from Jeddy Wellness on Instagram, but LinkedIn will continue as is. But this is just to tell you that what we tell you is what we practice in real time. So the strategies that I'm giving you and what Felipe and Ashley are giving you are things that we're living. We are living experiments of what we're teaching you. So that's it from me. I know there's a question from Imran, so I'll pass it back to Felipe, and then we'll have some folks join us on stage.
Sorry, really, really quickly, Sumana, I just want to jump in here because I also decided that I'm not going to be posting on TikTok anymore.
That is too funny. That is too funny.
When you said that, I yelled. I'm like, oh my goodness. And it really is that same reason. It's like I took a look at where all of my time was going, and I realized that TikTok isn't, the place that it needs to go right now. So that's hilarious. I just wanted to say that.
Two brains, 2 peas in a pod. Felipe, you're next.
All right. Well, thank you all. I lost connection there for a minute, but last slide I just wanted to show real quick really is just about making sure that people know that, let me turn this off here for a minute. A portfolio career isn't about leaving work, it's about owning it. And whatever you decide to do, you want to make sure that it's right for you, and be strategic about it, be smart about it. Don't let it burn you out. Set those boundaries and hold them tight, because those boundaries really are what are going to keep this sustainable and take care of your mental and physical and financial health. Because if you burn out, it doesn't help you financially. Trust me. All right. So we have Emron, who has been patiently waiting. Thank you so much for your wonderful comments, Emron. And thank you for joining us on stage. Please unmic and let us know what questions or comments you have. The mic is yours.
Thank you, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Here.
All right. So first of all, thank you for the Wellness Hour team to give me the opportunity. I've always enjoyed the discussions here, and this is something new for me because at the very outset, Sumana explained the career portfolio, portfolio carrier, in terms of maybe it's one of the new trends in career management and personal growth. I am listening in and just thinking through the concept, and I put some comments about the model. To me, it seems like someone needs to be really thoughtful and really have to have some sort of close examination of skill set, someone's own skill set, experience, talent, and bandwidth. And what do I mean by bandwidth? Bandwidth has to do with the ability to, intentionally open up for something else that he or she is passionate about. So maybe one example might be, particularly in my life, maybe last 4 or 5 years, I've been doing some ad hoc consulting as in for startups, and these are all medical startups. I have taken a course on artificial intelligence, so to me it's the right fit because I'm a doctor. Then I've worked in managed care industry, but I also have a new skill, which is artificial intelligence. And then now I'm trying to connect the dots. Like, hey, if I could help startups and if I could create a stream of revenue, to Sumana's point, like, what can I do differently to have some redundancy or backup, something that we enjoy, but maybe create additional work streams, expand our horizon network, and who knows, maybe one of these things that I'm doing may land somewhere where I should be very proud of. So in summary, all I'm going to say is it is a lot of work. It is a careful introspection about one owns ability, skill set, experience, and of course the network itself. But I think you have to be intentional. People are talking about intentionality. I agree, but I also agree that it's a mindset, and perhaps not for everyone. So I see it as a kind of like a ladder. So if you are maybe middle in the ladder or higher up in your career ladder, you have lived experiences, and you can probably do this, with some effort and intentionality, as opposed to when you're way early in your career. I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Imran. That was very insightful. And for someone with your experience to still have that enthusiasm to still learn, I think that's a big part of this. Is that those that are forever learners are the ones that portfolio careers kind of are going to be a little bit easier for you because that curiosity is going to lead you down the avenue, like Imran mentioned about AI and artificial intelligence. That curiosity allows people to go down a different road. And think about this. He talked about fallback plans. These portfolio careers do provide you that. I'll be honest. My portfolio career, the whole reason why it started wasn't because I knew about portfolio careers. It was because I was thinking about what do I want to do when I retire? Because I'm not just going to sit on my butt all day looking for the mailman and the trash man to come by. I can't do that. I need to stay active. So I wanted to do something I enjoy, I was passionate about. So I started saying, okay, I want to help recruit and still help people with workplaces and training. How am I going to do that? All right, well, I need to let people know about it. So I started learning about LinkedIn, which took me to Canva, which took me to Restream, teach me skills that HR never would have really learned, but because I had different ideas, it brought me into that. So whether you're trying to be an entrepreneur or you're changing fields of your career, start somewhere. Start small. You don't have to start and go all in. Sometimes, because hustling is not a bad thing. I don't want the word hustle to have a negative connotation because hustling is not a bad thing. It's when you hustle to the point without having the boundaries and the respect for yourself to know when to stop and say, hey, that's all I'm doing today. Or no, I'm sorry, I can't do more. I have too much on my plate right now, maybe next month. But you got to know when to hustle and when to stop. And I think that's one message I want to make sure you all take away from is that there's so much value in having that portfolio career today, in the future, for young people and for older generations. And do it at your pace. But whatever you do, just don't do it half-assed. That's the other thing I want you to take away. All right, Ashley, thoughts about Emron's share? And then we'll go to Sumana, and we also have Gregory on stage. We only have 10 minutes left, you all. So if you want to come on stage, feel free and ask your question about career portfolios or share your experience about career portfolios. Ashley?
Yeah, Emron, I really enjoyed your comment. It actually reminded me one of my favorite podcasters. Her name is Miriam Hasnea. She, in one of her podcasts, had this quote and it stuck with me. And she said that her entire career she has aimed at and now has achieved just having fun and getting to live off of that fun. And I feel like that's really, it is a mindset shift to get there. And it's something that I'm currently working on. And that I know that a lot of people who are building out these portfolio careers are working on. But that's really what it is. It's a mix of curiosity and then faith, and believing that your gifts and the things that you find fun and joy in creating will be received and will resonate with other people. And so I'm excited to see all of the cool stuff that you make. And yeah, I really appreciated that comment. And I'll pass over to Sumana.
Yeah, I loved listening to you also, Imran. And I loved your question. I think your original question was like, how does one manage time building this portfolio career? We're already so busy building all these other things. This is another thing we have to now consider, because we cannot rely on one employer to help us get through the old ways of working, where you just have a job, you stay in that job, and then you retire. That is the job. That is no longer what is happening. We're job hugging, we're quiet quitting, we're I also heard job laddering, where you're moving, from one position to another, maybe staying within the same company, but not doing the same job. So the way you manage your time, I think, goes back to, I'll put my scientist hat back on, and just being really mindful of what are your kind of like peak hours of performance. I know we all work very differently. This is something I learned very early in my career, is like there's certain times I'm pretty energetic in the morning. That's just how I've been. There, during my burnout, I started to lose that energy, and that was kind of my very early signal that maybe something wasn't right. But after a recovery, I've gone back to my being very energetic in the morning, and I start to sort of, just peak, like after that peak, 4 or 5 o'clock, I'm not as energetic as the day goes by. And on certain tasks, I can probably still do some mundane things as the night goes on. Maybe I can look at some like really simple things. So one way to manage your energy is just to audit and know, when is my high performing hours? When can I do my best work? When can I do a LinkedIn Live with as much energy that I can give? When can I do content? When can I do writing? When can I do marketing? When can I do pitches? All of that depends on you being aware of your own energy cycle. And two, which goes back to our mental health blog that I posted in the earlier this month, was auditing and reviewing, is this working for me? If I have three, or maybe this is something I'll ask the audience as well, if you are considering a portfolio career, like what would that look like for you? Is it 2 or 3 things? Is it just 2 things? Is it 5 things? How many eggs would you want to put in how many different baskets? And do you realistically think that you can have the energy and the time to do that? And if you start with 5, can you audit that in 90 days and tell me, is this sustainable, or do I need to maybe let go of 1 or 2 projects? So know your energy peaks and audit and review your performance. You are your own boss. No one's going to be able to tell you this. You have to do this work by yourself. There is no boss telling us that maybe your performance isn't well. You have to do this data collection and this review and this pivoting, just like how Ashley and I both randomly decided that this energy sunk cost on Instagram is no longer where we need to be. I did my own analysis. She did her own. I'm not sure how she did hers, but maybe she can talk about it. But mine was very much data informed. And I'm like, this is not, and it wasn't helping me. And plus I realized I was just using it as a distraction tool and wasn't really benefiting any income that I want to build off of it. So those were my 2 kind of areas. So that's about all I want to say there. Actually, do you want to add anything more about your pivot from Instagram?
Yeah, I'm chuckling over here. I mean, I'm a
They
Scorpio
came over to the light
artist.
side. They're coming to the light side, I said.
Yeah.
Leaving the dark
I'm
side.
a Scorpio artist, so I just felt my way into my decision. I was like, nah, I don't really want to keep doing this. And so now I'm switching over to YouTube, like Felipe. I'm in YouTube land. And it's actually, I took a look at the analytics when you brought that up, and my feeling was right. So
Yay to the feeling matching the analytics. Over to you, Felipe.
Thank you. All right. Well, I hope you all took notes about what Sumana shared there, because really, no one's going to take care of you better than you. And you got to hold yourself accountable to what you're going to do, both with the work that you're trying to accomplish and taking care of yourself. But there are also some questions I want you all to ask yourselves, so that you have that visual of, what does success look like for you? When you're coming up with these things that you have in your portfolio career, what is success look like for you? Have that in your head and have it documented, written down, and then ask yourself, how do I get there? And what do I need to do next? And I think that's where you just start taking it. It's at your pace, your level, so you don't burn out. But that clarity, that's the stage I'm at right now. I got a lot of irons in the fire. I've got to be clear on which ones I'm going to put my energy into. So with that being said, Emron, thank you so much for joining us on stage. I'm going to carefully put you into the green room, and then we're going to bring Gregory up for our last speaker here. Gregory, thank you for joining us on stage. Please, what questions do you have about career portfolios or experiences you want to share?
Well, my experience on career portfolios is, as a person who's a neurodivergent, it's basically, I will say, very, very valuable and an asset tool to be that versatile, especially me being a neurodiverse individual, because you only get one shot, one opportunity, quote Eminem, in regards to gaining new skills and gaining new employment and professional life experiences and stuff. And that's why I will say that in regards to what Suma said, how many eggs can you hold? I'm thinking it's basically, for me, is to writing content on this platform, plus being guest on various shows on this platform as well too. So that's why I've been basically doing this portfolio career type of thing since I was basically like in my high school age. We're talking like, I will say 15, 16, 17 years of age and stuff, because I usually, anytime I'm on an executive committee or have an achievement, I virtually write it down on my resume and stuff, and keep that stored and sacred and stuff. So I'm probably one of the people who broke the mold in terms of having like a win book or a win notepad or something like that nature, and that's probably how my resume formulated and got constructed off of that and stuff. So people, I think that is a lost art right now in terms of educating the next generation, Gen Z and so forth and stuff, in regards to having some type of a portfolio career type of mindset at that corresponding age per se. So yeah.
Well, thank you, Gregory. I think that, again, mindset keeps on coming up. And I think that is one of the key takeaways from today.
Oh, by the way, nice photo of yourself, Felipe.
Oh, thank you very much, Gregory. I appreciate that.
After I saw the old one, much better. Seriously.
Oh, thank you. So I think, again, Gregory mentioned mindset, and it is something that, on your resume, it makes you look marketable. I will caution, though, on a resume, make sure that your focus looks clear as to what you want to do. You don't want to look like you're all over the board either and not sure about what you want to do.
True, but I hear a lot of people tell your story, and your resume is your story per se. So
yes, I just want to say, but when you're submitting a resume, you want to make sure that your history is clear, but what you want to do next is also clear. Because if that's not clear what you want to do next, they're not going to be really sure about, well, which of your skills are you trying to tap into? If it's all of them, that's great, but how? So I think that clarity of knowing what you want, because you don't want someone just saying, I'll take any job. You want to say, hey, I want to be your next director of ABC. Great. And in addition to that, I have these other skills I bring to the table that I think can add value to the company. So there's ways of making sure you share all that, but you got to make sure, like in your objective, your cover letter, whatever your messaging is, that it's clear. So this has been an amazing show, Ashley, Sumana. I don't know about you all, but I'm going to pass it over to Ashley to share about Gregory, and then Sumana, and then we're going to wrap up. So over to you, Ashley.
Great, thank you. And thank you, Gregory, for your comment. I'll be super quick because I know that we're at about time right now. But I love this idea of a win notebook. I wrote it down and I circled it like a million times because it's something that I need to do. And I think you're right that like we often don't celebrate our wins, and it's something that has become lost on us, which is really unfortunate. But I do think that especially in portfolio careers and in careers that just require that you wear a lot of hats, writing down every single one of your achievements and then figuring out how that breadth of showing up in all of these places can turn itself into a focused resume is just a genius idea. So thank you for that, and I will be implementing that in my own practice. And Sumana, I will pass to you.
Thank you. No other comments. Love your share, and I'll just challenge you, Gregory, with one. I know you said, I know exactly where I'm putting my eggs. I'm making content for my own LinkedIn, and I am a guest speaker on a few shows. Now, the challenge would be for you to do a bit of a review and audit and identify like which shows do I need to put my energy in? Just like how John put a comment in there, we need to have a system so we can say yes strategically. Love that comment. We can obviously go to every single LinkedIn Live. Of course, we want to help support our colleagues and our friends here on LinkedIn, but there's some things that have to go on my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, then I'm most likely not going to attend or be aware of what I need to do. Again, where do I need to put my energy? Which LinkedIn shows can I strategically do to conserve my energy in order for me to build that portfolio career that will be intentional and that will allow me to, in the future, have financial stability and have all those wonderful things that we talked about in the show today. So that's all. I'll end there. Thank you so much. It's 7:02 for me here in Calgary. It's been such a pleasure. The comments have been great. I'll pass it to Felipe for a goodbye. But for me, there's really nothing else coming up besides
Suma, be
content.
safe.
Yes.
Be safe. We are going to have a biblical snowstorm coming.
Can't wait. I'm so ready. I'm so ready for the snowstorm. I'm so
Take
excited.
pictures. I remember the days, Sumana, when we first started this, you used to send me pictures all the time of snow.
I used to. I'll send you more. I'll send you
good.
more.
Well, listen, I want to echo Ashley's comment about the Win notebook. I think that's a great idea. Last show, I think I mentioned saying that somebody's grandmother told me, count your blessings before you tally your troubles. And so I think that counting your blessings, being grateful, remembering what you've won, it's important. Also, don't let LinkedIn bully you or any platform. And what I mean by that is, if you're feeling pressure to post, stop. No one and nothing should make you feel pressure. You do it when you want to, and you figure out what works for you. If once a week is working for you, great. If never being a guest on the show is you and just commenting in the chat, wonderful. You got to do what works for you. And I got to give a shout out to Kaleem. Kaleem, thank you so much. Kaleem officially is my 100th follower on YouTube. So I officially hit it. So I got to say thank you so much to Kaleem, who is very grateful to you for doing that, sir. All right. So with that being said, Gregory, I'm going to carefully move you back into the green room. Don't trip, please, when you go back there. And with that being said, I'm looking forward to our next show, which is going to be in 2 weeks. As always, let us know if you have a topic you'd like us to cover. Also, we are looking for guests to come and join us to be a guest speaker on our show. I have somebody that I spoke to this week, Sumana and Ashley, that I need to get with you about. But let's do a quick round robin here. Final takeaways or thoughts, and what do you have coming up, Ashley?
This was a great topic. I think that this has been actually my favorite trilogy. I put that in the comments, that it's really just powerful, and I think it came all the way full circle. So thank you, Sumana, for just coming up with these topics and really tying it all together. And then as far as things that I have coming up, now that I'm really clear kind of on what Dear Imperfect Artist is, and I have more of a vision on making this, a thriving community space to help people create again. I am just going to get organized. I'll send you some links, Felipe. I plan to just, really move forward full steam ahead. And then, of course, A Moment to Make is every Sunday from 4 to 5 Central Time. The link will be posted. That's my goal this week. And I will pass to Sumana for what you have coming up.
Oh, honestly, our nothing for February. Our ambassadors are going to continue posting on our mental health blog that was published on the first Wednesday of February. So the second on the 4th of March. So I think our Workplace Wellness Live is back on the 2nd of March. So on the 4th of March will be our March blog. So I'm just getting prepped and ready for that. Otherwise, just continue to just see some incredible content from our ambassadors. They are killing it. I'm actually so impressed with everybody who's joined us in 2026. These folks are new to LinkedIn, but they're just leveraging LinkedIn in a way that I can't even imagine. So I'm just so proud of all the Jeddy Wellness ambassadors. And so, yeah, if you haven't read the blog, please read it. And congratulations, Felipe, on your 100 followers. And look forward to hearing what's coming up from you in the rest of the month here.
Well, thank you, Sumana, and thank you again, everyone who joined us here. Obviously, if you haven't followed Cofiño Consulting on LinkedIn, please give me a follow there, and make sure that if you have anybody that you know that needs HR services, feel free to recommend me. I'd be happy to talk to them. And thank you again, Kaleem. If any of you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's not for vanity metrics, really. It's really just to know that people know where to find all the shows that we've done, because we've put so much work into the Workplace Wellness Hour for the last 4 seasons, and we didn't want to make it difficult for you to find. So having a playlist that is a podcast playlist as well as a video playlist, it gives you the opportunity to make sure that you can find us and go back to the videos or audios if you want to listen to them in the past or share them with somebody else. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined us here in the chat. We had so many people that have joined us. John Werner, thank you. Tom Cullen, appreciate you joining us here, my friend. Emron and Gregory, thank you for coming up. Toby Loba, it's been a long time since we've seen you here, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Robert Larson, thank you for coming. Sharon Byrne, I didn't see you there. Thank you for joining us, my friend. And of course, Kenny, all your support is always appreciated. Coach Carey, it's great to see you here as well. Thank you for coming. And then, of course, Melissa Houston, Melissa Cohen, Jackie Hallberg, everyone that came. Charito, thank you for being here. We appreciate all the support. This is really for all of you all. If y'all didn't keep on showing up, we wouldn't probably be doing the show. So thank you for being here, because you're the ones that make this just sustainable and real and relevant by asking the questions you do and supporting the show the way you do. So thank you. And Sumana and Ashley, I look forward to seeing you.
And just one more thing before we let everybody go. I know it's Chinese New Year tomorrow, so please, Happy New Year to everybody celebrating Chinese New Year, the year of the fire horse. Very excited for that. Right, Felipe?
Yes, year of the fire horse, baby.
Woo-woo!
All right, well, Happy New Year, Chinese New Year tomorrow, and hope everyone stays safe. And as always, remember, be confident in what you know, be curious about what you don't know, be grateful for what you have, be compassionate to yourself and others, and be tenacious as hell, because you've got this. Have a great night, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Adios.
Bye, everybody.
United, together, here we stand. Sumana, Ashley, Felipe, your workplace wellness hour band, where culture meets health and wisdom takes hold. Fresh perspectives and insights unfold. Practical magic for all.